That's just line drawers being available for the presentations and some of the outreach meetings is what I'm talking about. So that's where the time compresses us to a greater extent, because that's going to come first, and then we're going to go into the input meetings. And really, when you start thinking about it and compressing this, there's going to be a portion of the outreach meetings that we're not going to be able to control. And this is what I spoke to the vice chair about. And what we're not going to be able to control are meetings where people walk in and say, I know this is outreach, I know this is education, but I want to give you this map because I'm not going to be around. We've already heard people coming in who have said, just in this meeting, that, I won't be able to come back. So if you don't want to hear my testimony, I'll leave. And we don't want to be in the position of not taking testimony. So for that purpose, whoever is going to provide that service for us has to start giving us input on how we're supposed to be taking that information. And so that becomes also a portion of the equation that we have to think about in those three options I've offered you, or those three options that I believe are available to us.
What was the subcommittee's recommendation?
I'm going to defer to Vince. I think you've already stated it earlier.
We did have conversations around the subject, and I think we were all reasonably comfortable with going with the statewide database and using CARN in conjunction with the discussions we had with the outreach group. It looked to us like the fastest way to get started. I understand there's risks associated with it, but that's a risk I'm ready to take, because I think timing is our biggest problem right now, not the kind of criticisms we might get for not following all the procedures correctly. And my fellow committee members could add to Gabino.
I have a question, Commissioner Baraba. As I understand, Mr. Claypool, as you were mentioning it, the Berkeley does have a interagency contract, so we could contract with them for the statewide database technical consultant aspect. Or you're shaking your head, Commissioner Dye, so maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, so if I understand this correctly, that there's a potentially facilities agreement that we would do through UC